Once you're ready to put the fonts in, you need to think about what kind of fonts you want to use. The maximum different fonts you should use is 2 or 3. So you can look at different fonts that might be a good choice for titles, for specific headings or captions, and body or text. So if I look, for example, at this one, it could show me what fonts might look good together. So on the headlines is also another way of saying like a title. So these words you see are the name of the type of font. So what you can do is if you go to the T for text box, click one time, and click again, you can put your title in there. Notice that I have put capitals in a title. Now right now, it gives me the standard. Now if I click at the end, so if I don't see it, I can just click in the text box. Now I'm going to click at the end, hold down, hold down, hold down. Now I've highlighted all of the words. So if I go up here where it says Arial, that's where the font color is. And if I just go down, I can look for the different ones. So I can choose one that might be on the list. So for example, I might choose like Lobster, Lobster 2, see what I think. Now, this is where you might have to go then and find one of your colors in your color palette to choose what might be a good color to use as your background. And then we want to make sure it's large enough so I can see it. So one thing you can do in a title is you can have all the words in one, or if you want to, you could separate maybe the most important words. So I have fantastic tips to save the earth. I'm just cut that one out. I'm going to paste the earth in there. And so maybe for the earth, since the earth is kind of my the most important word, maybe I'm going to make that into a different. So here I have font. Sometimes you can play with how do you want it to sit. Do you want this to look like it might be at the top and then the earth is much bigger? If you want the earth to be much bigger, then you can type in a number if the number isn't there to see, okay, what do I think? Do I want it to move it over a little bit? You can move it, position it. It doesn't have to be in two different fonts. It can all be in the same font. You need to decide what looks best for you. And I say, you know what, I don't know if I like this anymore. You can try it and put it back how we had it. And maybe sometimes, instead of changing the font, maybe you just change the size of that one word. Okay, fantastic tips to save the earth. And you can decide. Sometimes, if you do want them to be at different sizes, you need to put it in a different text box. That way, you can put them in different places. By using a text box, we're able to move the specific words around that we maybe wouldn't have been able to without it. So, when I look back at the examples, I notice that all of the typography or the type of fonts are the same. It's just that this text box, this font size is a little bit larger than this one. Same thing over here. I notice I'm using the same type of font up here for the headings and the subheadings, even right here. And then we use a different type of font that goes with the other one. So notice only 2 fonts are needed because we want it to look very similar and go together. The last trick is if we look at our infographics, we notice titles. I can look for display fonts. So if you're someone who wants to find a display font If I have my word highlighted, I go to more fonts, and over here where I have display fonts, it will give me a bunch of different display fonts. The ones that are checked are the ones that you have. If you want one that's not there, you can go ahead and check it and click OK, and then it will try that one. The other option is using the bold versus the unbold. You can separate the different types that way as well.